working? Sound? Hare Krishna? No sound? I guess I'll have to scream it, huh? Sound is working? Oh, Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timaranya Sagana Ganasalakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvisesha Shunivati Pastacha Dasatarani. Srila Prabhupada, I need the divine mercy, the divine intervention of your mercy, because as I was thinking, when Vyasaki was talking about all the different anarthas, I'm thinking I really only have 3 anarthas. Everything I say, everything I do, and everything I think. So there's only 3 things to work on. But of course, those things require adding something different. So what I try to do today is I work on, like they say with the computer, garbage in, garbage out. And I use the same philosophy, but I use knowledge from Prabhupada's books instead of the garbage, so that garbage won't come out. And I know so many times I was dependent on this mercy. And that's why we think at the times we were never willing to accept that Prabhupada was going to leave, even though he'd been sick for so long and all of the signs were there, you know, the swelling, the edema he has. I had a son that was born on Prabhupada's disappearance day, and as a small child he also died from the pulmonary edema, the lungs filled up with liquid. And so it reminds me how this can come. But it's shocking for a child, but it's not shocking for someone at 81 years old with diabetes. But we weren't willing to accept that Prabhupada would ever leave us. It just wasn't a consideration in our minds, because I know for myself, I'm not a very good devotee, and I needed that divine mercy all the time. I remember when I was in Mumbai, and during the India-Pakistan war, and I'm doing the Arctic, and they're dropping bombs on the ocean. They're going boom, boom. And I'm going, Jayo, Jaya. And I'm watching these bombs, and I'm thinking, I have to get out of this place. So I would always go into Srila Prabhupada's room, and I'd put the water on Prabhupada's head and give him the flower. And I was thinking, how am I going to get out of here before the bombs drop on us like they almost did last night? There's something about bombs dropping near you and making an explosion that makes you feel uncomfortable, if it's ever happened to you. And all of a sudden, Prabhupada stopped the other devotees just as I was leaving, and he says, just a minute. And he looked up at me and he said, is everything all right? And just like that, I felt this anxiety clear, and I said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, everything is all right. And so that's why I'm not willing to accept Prabhupada leaving, because I need that divine mercy at times like that. When my mother called and said, are you all right? I said, yes, I'm safe here with Prabhupada. They said, even though bombs are dropping? I said, I'd rather be here with Prabhupada, bombs dropping, than somewhere else in the material world. I'd feel less safe. And I noticed this at other times. You know, it's amazing how the tests come. You know, when Radhanath Swami was talking at the Goshala, there was one part I didn't like. I didn't like the part where he was saying that we can't pick the ways that Krishna wants to purify us. I'd like to say, okay, Krishna, I have a list of all the easy things that I would like you to purify me with. Please give me these easy tests, and please don't give me those ones, and please give me this. I'd like it that way. But of course, as Radhanath Swami was pointing out, that's reality. Krishna has his way of doing things. And when things get difficult and I have to depend on Prabhupada and Krishna, I find that Prabhupada and Krishna are available. They haven't gone away. Just like Krishna is not before my vision, Prabhupada is not before my vision, but they're still there working behind the scenes when I call on them. When the thieves had the gun at my head in South Africa, I didn't pray for that test. I didn't say, Krishna, in my test, I would like the thieves to threaten my life and argue about it. But I'll tell you what, this test was a very good test because they made me get under the bed. And while they were arguing, I was chanting on my beads. You bet I chanted 2 very good rounds, because if that was going to be the last round, I was going to make it count. So later, when I was there, just a kid of 19 years old, and I was there with Rishi Kumar Swami, and I wake up and he's gone with a note, "Dear Kshudy, decided to split." And so I thought, oh no, I'm here in a country alone where the thieves and the government are in a race to see who kills me first. And I thought, what can I do? And so I wrote to Srila Prabhupada that I'm here alone, and Rishi Kumar left me here and he took the money with him. And very quickly, a letter came back from Srila Prabhupada, and I thought, maybe I'm in trouble because I said I'm ordering more books even though I'm in debt. I'll use the extra books to pay off the debt. And even though it was true, I think this can't sound good. And I said I would make more incense sticks to help take care of the debt. And I didn't want that test of being left alone in a country where we had no neighbors for 2 miles. But the test that Krishna made it worth it because Srila Prabhupada was behind me. How do I know that? Because when the letter came, and I thought maybe I'm in trouble, and I opened it up and I saw the first line, and it said, "I am very much pleased at the responsibility you've taken to spread Krishna consciousness in South Africa at such a young age." He said, somehow, and I thought, well, the rest has to be good from there. If the letter starts with, "I'm very much pleased," then I know it has to be good. And so even though I was put into the difficulty, Srila Prabhupada was there to rescue me. He told me he was very much pleased. He told me that just like Narada Muni had been left alone, I was left alone. And that gives me solace now when I realize I have no wife, no brothers and sisters, no parents. I have 2 children and 2 grandchildren. That's the extent of family. But I have a big Krishna conscious family. And that's a lot of the way that Srila Prabhupada can come to rescue me. Because when I was there alone, he sent one boy right away. Prabhupada sent a boy named Duradarshan, but Duradarshan means hard to see or hard to find, so one day he was Duradarshan, hard to find, he was gone. And I was there alone again. So then Brahmananda Swami says, Srila Prabhupada asked me to come and help you out. And this is how we see that when we serve Srila Prabhupada and cooperate together, we are pleasing Prabhupada and helping each other. And he tried to come from 2,000 miles away. He kept writing me letters from Mombasa and Dar es Salaam. First Nairobi, then Mombasa, then Dar es Salaam, then Malawi. And finally at the border they stopped him. So I was still meant to be alone more time. And then he asked Pushta Krishna Swami to come. So when the government caught me, and I called Pushta Krishna Swami on a Friday, and he said, well, I'll be there in a week. I said, it has to be tomorrow. And he showed up tomorrow. So it shows me that this mood, that when we are willing to cooperate with others. Pushta Krishna Swami didn't say, I need to spend extra more time. If the God brother needs help and Prabhupada wants it, he was willing to do it. Brahmananda didn't just write a letter saying, well, I'll give you my moral support. He was willing to drive down through he would have driven through the countries that weren't dangerous if there were any, but all of Africa is pretty dangerous. But he just said, I'm leaving and coming there because you're alone and Prabhupada wants it. And so they came to help out. And so today I call on Srila Prabhupada and I call on my God brothers to help me out as I will help them out. And look for this mood of cooperation. How we have to understand some of the things. It's easy to learn Prabhupada's teachings if we read them, and since my body's not in such good health, I don't have the strength to dig holes and do other things, but I can read books and Kindles and pamphlets and things, so I put that knowledge in so that when I'm asked to speak something, and I pray to Prabhupada, like Prabhupada said in that letter, I am praying to Krishna that you will have the strength and enthusiasm to carry out this mission. So even I'm not capable, I pray to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I am praying to Krishna that you will give me the strength and enthusiasm to carry out whatever missions I have. And he comes through for me every time. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada.